YouTube channel. Greetings, greetings, welcome, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are joining from. I want to welcome you to today's broadcast. I am Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. I am your why and soul purpose coach and consultant. I work with my clients to help them connect with their inner blueprint for success so they can live more abundant, meaningful life. If you want to get information on how you can work with me, you can text me at 203-885-5093. I invite you also to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm also on Clubhouse and Clapper. Also on TikTok. So I encourage you to participate in the conversation this morning. And those of you on Facebook, please write your comments in there and your feedback and just become part of the conversation. Again, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am grateful for this platform so that it gives me the opportunity to connect with my people all over the world. Again, welcome, welcome. So, at round about 6:30, between 6:30 and 6:45, we will do the water therapy ritual. So get your water, and whenever I announce, we will go into the water therapy. Welcome on Facebook. Just jot your name, where you're joining from, so I know who is joining me. Thank you so very much. All right. So today we are talking about a very important topic, and it's the topic of forgiveness. I know that is a challenging thing for all of us, myself included. Forgiveness is not something that we do easily or willingly, right? Can you relate with that? I'm sure there are some people who can relate to that. Or maybe I'm the only person. And if that's the case, that's all right too. Because each time I go live, I make sure that whatever I'm speaking about, I can resonate with that. All right? So, for this conversation this morning, I want to share a research by Dr. Tyler. And Dr. Tyler is from the Harvard Medical School. Harvard is in Massachusetts, up in New England. And I wanted to include Dr. Tyler's research in here. And I know we can get some scientific reasons why forgiveness is so important as we learn about how it impacts our health. All right? So, as I go through this and as I present, we are going to cover learning to let go. How can we practice small steps to forgiveness? How do we reach a solution? We're going to talk about recall, emphasize, ultra strict, gift, commit, and hold. Those are all the areas we are going to discuss this morning. For those of you on TikTok, if it is your first time, please put a blue heart with your first name and where you are joining from. Now, let's begin. And we are talking about the power of forgiveness. Harvard Medical School has a program they refer to as the REACH method. And the REACH method teaches how to overcome lingering bad feelings towards someone who has wronged you. Almost every one of us, we can think of a time that someone has wronged us. It could be a co-worker, it could be a family member, could be a neighbor, even a spouse. We can always think of someone who has wronged us over our lifetime. However, that can be damaging to us when we hold on to all of the negative feelings. It is damaging to our health because you know what? The person or people who has done us wrong, they are on their merry way living their lives. And we are back down with all of the hurt and the ill feelings. And this is why I decide to have this conversation this morning, because as business owners, there are times when not only do we need to forgive others, however, we need to forgive ourselves as well. And what do I mean by forgiving ourselves? There are times when we are judgmental about ourselves. It's the real greetings, Queen. How are you? Good morning. There are times when we think that if we had not done X, Y, Z, please share the live for me on Facebook. If we had not done X, Y, Z, whatever the thing we are coming up with, we would be better off and we would make more advance on all of this stuff. And we hold ourselves on a tight rope. And thank you. And we are so willing to forgive others and not ourselves. So the conversation this morning, I want us to put ourselves at the top of the list as we talk about forgiveness. All right? Forgiving a person who has done you wrong is never easy. But dwelling on those events and reliving them over and over can fill your mind with negative thoughts and suppress anger, says Dr. Tyler. And remember, I tell you, Dr. Tyler is from the medical school at Harvard University. Vander Wiel is a co-director of the Initiative of Health and Religion and Spirituality at the Harvard School of Theology, Chang School of Public Health. Yet, when you learn to forgive, you are no longer trapped by the past actions of others. You can finally free yourself. Can I be vulnerable? Do I have your permission to be vulnerable? I'm going to take it that you said yes, because for every time it never fails. When I'm holding on to unforgiveness, this is what begins to happen to me. It's like my shoulders begin to pull in with all of the anger and hurt. I don't know about you. Thank you. I don't know about you, but look into your own lives. When you're holding on to that hurt, what is happening to you? It's damaging to your health. You experience anxiety, your high blood pressure, panic attacks, and the list goes on. The list goes on. And let me tell you something. Back pain. Somebody on Facebook said back pain. That's right, Queen. You understand. And you know something? A couple of weeks ago, I was dealing with a situation. And the universe is so faithful, because in the midst of me dealing with the unforgiveness, I saw a quote somewhere that says, it's not the stabbing that kills you, is when you look back and see who is holding the knife. Let me say that again, so that if anybody want to write it in the comments, go ahead and write it. It's not the stabbing that kills you, is when you turn around and see who is holding the knife. And I looked at the situation and I was dealing with. And I said, wow, this is why this situation hits me so hard. Because, you know, your kids are wise. Because it was like 2 days before I saw that quote that my son said to me, Ma, I don't know how many times you're going to allow such and such a person to do you wrong. And I said to him, I think as long as it takes me to learn the lesson. In Jamaica, we have a saying that goes, we forgive, but we don't forget. And although that was part of the culture that I grew up in, I forgive and I forget. And there are times when I allow the same individuals to do and do and do and do. However, when I saw that quote, I said, man, it just so resonated with me. And I'm sure that there are many of you who can say, I can resonate with the same thing. Learning to let go. There are two sides to forgiveness. Decisional and emotional. Decisional forgiveness involves a conscious choice to replace ill will with goodwill, to replace ill will with goodwill. You no longer wish bad things to happen to that individual, says Dr. Van der Weel. This is often quicker and easier to accomplish. And I'm sure we can all agree with that one. The second is emotional forgiveness. We move away from those negative feelings and no longer dwell on the wrongdoing. Emotional forgiveness is much harder and takes longer, as it is common for those feelings to return on a regular basis, says Dr. Van der Weel. This often happens when you think about the offender or something trigger the memory, or you still suffer from the adverse consequences of their action. Isn't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Practicing forgiveness can have powerful health benefits. Observational studies and even more rationalized trials suggest that forgiveness is associated with lower levels of depression, anxiety, hostility, reduced substance abuse, higher self-esteem, and greater life satisfaction. Yet, forgiving people is not always easy. It's not that men can't forgive, but for some, it's more of a struggle, says Dr. Van Wheeler. It's not clear why, but perhaps these men have learned to suppress certain emotions. It also can be difficult for men to admit to themselves that there was this great offense that still bothers them, Dr. Van Wheeler says. Tap the screen and share the live over on TikTok, guys. Practice small acts of forgiveness. One way to get more comfortable with forgiveness is to practice small acts in everyday life, says Dr. Tyler, co-director of the Initiative of Health and Religion and Spirituality at the Harvard Theology School of Public Health. For example, if someone is rude or cut you off in traffic, use that moment to recognize the wrong, realize it wasn't directed at you personally. Forgive him or her on the spot. This way, you always can learn to immediately stop the negative reaction and the feelings that come with it, says Dr. Tyler. Reaching for a solution. One of the best ways to practice forgiveness is with the REACH method. REACH stands for recall, emphasize, as altruistic, gift, commit, and hold. Here is a look at these steps. Recall. The first step is to recall the wrongdoing in an objective way. The goal is not to think of the person in a negative light or to wallow in self-pity, but to come to a clear understanding of the wrong that was done. Visualize the person and situation and all the feelings that come with it. Don't push aside anything, especially if it makes you feel angry and upset. So, the bottom line is we got to be willing to do the inner work. And this is why I said at the beginning, forgiveness is benefiting you even more than the wrongdoer because they're going about their business and we are sitting here suffering. So this REACH step and process is something that you and I can use in our everyday life to help us alleviate all of those ill feelings and negativity that we have been holding on to. So that was the recall for the R. Let's go into the E, which is for emphasize. Next, try to understand the other person's point of view regarding why he or she hurt you, but without minimizing or downplaying the wrong that was done. Sometimes the wrongdoing was not personal, but due to something the other person was dealing with. People who attack others are sometimes themselves in a state of fear, worry, hurt, says Dr. Tyler. They often don't think when they hurt others, they just lash out. How many times you have heard it said that hurt people hurt people? Hurt people hurt people. Because they're, and most times, they are hurting the people that are closest to them. Why? Because they know it is a safe thing to do, because you are not going to lash out back at them. It's the same thing with haters. They say haters only know how to hate, because that's the energy they have been around. So there's a lot of work that we need to do when we understand about all these different steps. We can take one step at a time to deal with ourselves and our well-being to get us to where we need to be. So the forgiveness is what will help us get there, so long as we are willing to do the work. The next step is the altruistic gift. This step is about addressing your own shortcomings. Yes, we are not perfect. We all have shortcomings. Hello? We all have some shortcomings. Recall a time when you treated somebody harshly and were forgiven. How did it make you feel? Recognizing this will help you to realize that forgiveness is an altruistic gift that you can give to others. Ask yourself the question, if the shoes was on the other foot, how would we feel? Put yourself in the person's position. So, in other words, what we are hearing here is not rocket science. It doesn't take rocket science to forgive. It takes willingness. It takes action. It takes us adapting and adjusting the situation, putting ourselves in the other person's position. Ask ourselves the question, if the shoes was on the other foot, how would we react? And be willing to let go of those hurt and all of those negative feelings. Hey, Sophia, greetings. Glad to see you there, Queen. The next step is to commit. Commit yourself to forgive. For instance, write about your forgiveness in a journal or a letter that you don't send or tell a friend. This helps you with this decisional side of forgiveness, says Dr. Tyler. Take this step. You notice all of what this research is showing us is for us to take the action. Nowhere in here we did not hear Dr. Tyler says, I ain't doing nothing until they apologize. Nothing in here did they mention to call the person to get an apology. All these were steps that we need to take so that we can heal ourselves. This is powerful, ladies and gentlemen. This is powerful. Forgiveness is in the palm of our hands. We have to take the action. We got to do the work. We got to learn to let go. If it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to you. You owe it to yourself to work on these steps to gain the health that you need. It's not about the other person. What do you need for yourself? The next step in the reach here is the H. Finally, hold on to your forgiveness. This step is tough because memories of the event will often occur. Forgiveness is not erasable, says Dr. Tyler. Rather, it's about changing your reaction to the memory. To the memories, excuse me. When the bad feeling arises, remind yourself that you have forgiven and ultimately you want good for the offender. If needed, revisit the commitment by reading your journal entry or letter or recalling the shared conversation with your friend. That's what the research has. I am sure in this research, it is just like triggering situation in our lives. And it gave us the tools in which to deal with this. Forgiveness is for us, not for the wrongdoer. Are we looking for excellent health? What are we looking for? Ask ourselves the question. There are many of us, when we listen to this conversation today, we will probably got to get on the phone and call somebody to find out how they are doing because we haven't been talking to them because we were so upset. We're not going to call to say, I forgive you. We're going to call and say, I just called to say how you are. And that's going to be the first step towards your forgiveness. You don't have to go to confession. You just need to work on these steps for yourselves, for ourselves, because I am also included in this conversation. I'm not immune. I have shortcomings too. So you and I, we are in this together. Remember what I shared before. It's not the stabbing that kills you. It's when you turn around and see who is holding the knife. And that's a challenging one for me, guys. That's a challenging one for me. But every day I wake up, I'm working on that. I'm working on it. I am a work in progress, and I am sure many of you are as well. Please let us now do the water therapy, and then let us discuss. If you have any question on Facebook or any feedback, go ahead and write it in the comments. And I know Sophie is over there on TikTok. And when I end over here on StreamYard, I will be going back over there. But give me your feedbacks. I mean, were you able to resonate with any aspect of this? Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you couldn't forgive? Ask yourself, are you now willing to approach forgiveness? To free yourself, to release yourself. It is needed. It is needed. Let us look into our lives. Let us make the decision to forgive. Be willing to get your book and to list names on it. Or, Lord, am I only talking to myself? Or am I talking to somebody else? Am I only talking to me? Let us make that commitment to write down that list of people that we need to forgive. Write those letters. Write the entry in the journal, the time, the date when you forgive that person or those people. And let us go on with our lives. Nothing that they have done is worth you jeopardizing, is worth us jeopardizing our health for. Lord knows it's the truth. When we look back at it, nothing is worth me jeopardizing my health and my well-being to hold on to the grudge and to hold on to the anger of what they did. Remember, hurt people because that's what they know to do at a particular time. All right, let us do the water therapy, please. Remember to bless your water. Water is energy. And when we do the water therapy, what do? We supercharge our water. We ask for what we want. We ask for what we want. And then we drink our water. So what is it you're requesting this morning? Is it for healing? Is it for clarity? Go ahead. Let your request be known. And I'll get my lead from Sophie over there. When I see done, when I see ready, excuse me, we will go ahead and we will do the water therapy. All right? So I'm asking this water to go directly to every cell and nucleus in my body, to my organs, to revitalize them for mobility and flexibility, for physical sight and spiritual sight and awareness, to be connected in every aspect of the word, to have clarity in every area of my life. Healing, spiritual insight, and wisdom. All right, let me know when you guys are ready. All right, so ready, let's drink. Okay. Thank you for all of those who participated. Thank you very much for your participation. All right, so let's wrap up this conversation around forgiveness. Listen, we have been blessed because there are many people who is not around because of the pandemic and everything. Many people had gained their wings and they are not around. You and I, we are blessed to be here. Let us spend this day purifying who we are. Today is all we have. Let us begin living in the present. Let us begin to live each day to the fullest. Let us take the right action today. Today is all we have. Let us not allow unforgiveness to be a noose around our neck or shackles around our feet. Why? Because we deserve better. We deserve better. Remember, if it is to be, it's up to me. So let us make the commitment to ourselves to begin right this minute to live our best life today. Live our best life today. Let us start with forgiveness. And after we forgive, let us begin to just shower ourselves with self-love. And for those of you who have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so, because all of the conversations that's taking place here, they have been uploaded to YouTube. So spend the time there to do the work. And for those of you who need some guidance and some help, pick up the telephone, text me, and get on the phone. Invest in yourselves. Get the guidance and support that you need. You cannot do it alone. None of us can do it alone. None. Why do you want to struggle when you can have somebody that will guide you? You are worth it. Invest in yourself so you can get the result that is needed. All right? Again, tips are welcome, donations are welcome. My Cash App, my Zelle, my PayPal, my Venmo, everything is on my link tree. Please support the work that I am doing. You might want to become a client. If you don't want to become a client, you probably want to donate to what I'm doing. Support the work that I am doing so I can continue adding value to other people. I hope that this conversation this morning was encouraging to you. I hope it has given you the freedom to step out so you can no longer hold yourself hostage. Know that you deserve the freedom to soar. I'm Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson, your why and soul purpose coach and consultant. It was a pleasure to be here with you this morning, and I look forward to seeing you on my next broadcast. Be well. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Love you guys. See you. Thank you so much to the people who joined me on Facebook. And I look forward to seeing and speaking with you soon. Bye.